Welcome back to the Bro Country Podcast. My name is Joey, and as always, I'm joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris here. What's going on over there tonight, Joey?
Man, not a whole lot. It's been a crazy couple weeks. We haven't got to record, man, so I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, we got a special guest on tonight. Country superfan Kurt is on the show with us tonight. Kurt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate that.
Yeah, not a problem at all. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. So, guys, tonight we're going to be talking Heart and Soul by Eric Church. Going to give our thoughts on the project, rank our top songs off the project, and some honorable mentions, and let Kurt give some of his opinions on the project as well. First, we will have to jump into our News Out of Nashville segment because it has been a couple weeks since we recorded, and there's been a ton of stuff going on. Really a lot. I know, Chris,
of stuff.
While You're Gone by Drew Parker is hitting country radio on the 24th, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've seen on his socials and some of the other people that we track. I mean, it looks like close to 20 stations have already added it. So he's a brand new artist, and he's got the backing of some of the big dogs in Nashville. So I'm looking for big things from Drew.
Absolutely. Are you a fan of Drew's, Kurt? Do you
Yeah.
ever hear him?
So I didn't know about him. Then I came across his TikTok actually, and then I started listening to some of his stuff, and it was really good. I really enjoyed a lot of it, and that's exciting for him that it's going to get onto radio there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm stoked. I can't remember. I think I found Drew in 2017 when he opened for Luke Combs at a small little arena out of Troy, Ohio. And he was just up there by himself with a guitar, didn't have a band yet or anything. It was crazy. So to watch him kind of flourish and get signed to a deal and then have a song go to country radio is pretty sweet. But speaking of Drew Parker, he's doing a free show in Plain City, Ohio on July 31st for all of our Ohio listeners. So look that up. And then
Yeah, I think we'll probably be at that show if we're if we're free, won't we, Jay?
It's not too far from me. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
not too bad. Not bad at all, but another big event happening this week. Aldine is doing that show at the Bonnaroo Farm Saturday.
Yeah. What, back-to-back Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, actually it is Friday and Saturday. Yeah, we were going to go Saturday, but unforeseen circumstances came up and we're not going to be able to make it, unfortunately. But I'm thinking about getting that live stream ticket for $15.
This seems like it's kind of the kickoff of the big shows coming back. This is really the first kind of 20,000 person show that I've seen that's actually going to happen. So hope they pull it off with no issues.
Yeah, because that could kind of determine how things go everywhere else,
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think they've got a good setup. They sold the tickets in 4-seat pods or whatever, so you could social distance or whatever. And I don't know. I'm hoping for the best for them, but should be a good show. So everybody that's going, if you're listening in and go on the show, have a good time. But a bunch of new music came out over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So much that it's hard to even keep track of.
I know. I've got a list here, but I don't even know if I'm going to name off everything because there's been so much that has came out since we've last recorded. But good buddy of the show, Brandon Davis, dropped Ice Cold within the last 2 weeks. And it was actually, that's a jam, man. And it was added to one of CMT's major playlists on Spotify. So that was pretty cool for him.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and...
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and tell the listeners about what we did last weekend.
Oh, yeah. So we actually, Chris and I went up to Columbus, Ohio. Brandon did his first ever solo ticketed event, and we got to go up and check that out and chat with him and his wife a little bit. So that was a pretty cool experience, getting to hang out with him again and get to see him do his first, headlining, I guess you'd call it, show. I mean, there was a pretty good turnout.
There was, and he's really got a chance to really take it to a pretty amazing level with this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there was probably, 40-something people, 40, 50 people in that little bar room?
Yeah, the bar was packed.
Yeah, it was packed, and, he knows how to get a crowd going, too. He had everybody in it, was playing a ton of originals, too, not just, cover songs. He had a ton of originals that are unreleased that he was playing.
Yep.
But, Kurt, you said you like Ice Cold?
Yeah, I listened to it the day it came out there, and I maybe listened to it 20 or 30 times.
Dude, it's a jam.
It is a jam.
It has potential to be a hardcore summer jam this year, I think.
100%. If it like starts getting out there a little bit more and like it is on that one big Spotify playlist, but when it starts getting out there and people start listening to it, 100%.
Absolutely, and he kind of can do it all. He's written sentimental songs like "Step by Step," "God Made Angels," and then kind of your party anthem with "Ice Cold." And I don't know, I'm excited to see what's next for him. But yeah, and then also, which is pretty cool, he had an opener obviously that night. Mr. Sam Coon, who we got to meet and chat with, and he's actually going to stop by the show hopefully next week. So that'll be pretty cool to have him on as well.
Yeah, he was killer live.
Oh, he was awesome, man. His originals, If Heaven Has a Back Door, I believe is his single, and then he was covering Stapleton and Wallen and just crushing it.
Yep.
But Priscilla Block's EP dropped within the last 2 weeks, and dude, the first week it had like 4 million streams.
Yeah, she was all over socials, thanking the fans and stuff. It's a freaking jam. Every
song on that EP is awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to check it out, Kurt?
I have not had a chance to check it out, but I saw that in your email this morning. I listened to a couple of songs. Really well done. I was super impressed by that, and I'm gonna have to listen to the full project. But no, it was I was pretty impressed with it. And 4 million streams or 4 million copies sold in the week, whatever it was, is insane.
Gosh, crazy. She's got a huge social media presence too, which I think definitely helps her with her, and she's interactive with her fans and stuff. So that's definitely driving that up, and the production quality on that EP was awesome too.
Yeah, she's been around town for a few years now, but she's still only like 25, 26, and
oh yeah,
I mean we just saw her at the acoustic jam. She's definitely got a bright future ahead of her.
Oh yeah, she was super nice. I think we talked about this on the show before, but my buddy Corey and I went up and met her and got a picture with her and everything, and she was just super nice. But I'm so definitely excited to see when her full album comes out, how that's going to turn out. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. And then something this is kind of old news now, but it was something I wanted to talk about, was Dylan Scott to replace Morgan Wallen on Luke Bryan's tour.
Yeah. What'd you think about that, Joey? I mean, we've been talking about this for like 6 months or 8 months. Like this
who's going to replace Morgan, basically, because we had a good feeling before he even said he wasn't doing any shows. He probably, after all the drama happened, we figured he probably wasn't going to be doing any shows for a little bit. And how do I feel about it? At this point in the country music game, it's a dang near impossible to replace Morgan with how hot he is right now, music-wise, without subbing in another major headliner like Luke Combs or somebody like that. So...
I'm sure they were in a bad spot. I mean,
they probably didn't really have many options. I don't, no disrespect to Dylan Scott. I'm a fan of some of his music. I've seen him live. He puts on a damn good show. He's a awesome live performer. But I just feel for the people that bought those resale tickets, scalp tickets that were $300 to $600 a piece, and hoping to see Morgan Wallen, and then boom. They get Dylan Scott instead.
Yeah, because I bet you a lot of them bought that ticket to see Morgan,
Oh, yeah.
Not even so much Luke as Morgan. Like, when you put, two major superstars in the same arena, in the same, tour, people are going to buy tickets and they're going to pay crazy money for that tickets. And, like you said, no disrespect to Dylan Scott, but, I mean, that's, that's a bit of a downgrade from Morgan, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But, and it kind of was like, Chris, when we were at Riverbend in Cincinnati and we saw, Luke Combs was there with Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
And, you heard so many people saying, oh, I'm just here to see Luke, or after Luke, we're leaving, and I think it was kind of, I know Willie is a legend, absolute outlaw era, amazing performer, hit after hit.
Yeah, I mean, that's, when you have multiple headliners on a show, that, there's going to be people there for each one. I mean,
diverse fan bases that are hardcore for those artists, and I think it was kind of one of those scenarios where Morgan being in a position that he is now music wise to do major shows and headline big arenas, probably those people bought those tickets anticipating that kind of event, and boom, it's not happening. So that sucks for those people.
Yeah, I do think that by the time the summer rolls around, if people get live music and we can just go to shows, I think everybody's going to be just happy to be there by the time it rolls around, though,
Yeah, I'm to the point where I would enjoy Dylan Scott Luke Bryan concert.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would enjoy it regularly, but it wouldn't be my number one show that I'd want to go to,
Yeah, absolutely.
But at this point, I'm about ready to go to any normal show.
Yep.
You guys are lucky you're even getting music down there.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your guys' situation, man.
Oh man, we've been in lockdown and like a stay-at-home order, whatever you want to call it, for I think 5-6 weeks already, and we're going until June 2nd.
Oh man,
we're struggling up here. Like I don't know, I don't even pay attention to the numbers anymore, but I think there's still over like 2,000 cases a day in the province of Ontario, and there's about, I don't know, population about 20 million. Yeah, but I don't really pay attention to numbers, but we're still in a stay-at-home order, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's no going to restaurants, bars, no live music. There's not a whole lot of anything going on, unfortunately.
Dang, that stinks, man. Hopefully those cases get down and you guys get back to some normalcy. I'm in Ohio, and we just got the news today that our governor's finally going to lift the health restrictions for COVID on June 2nd. So no more mask mandate, social distancing, and large gatherings, unless you're in a nursing home or a hospital, I think, are the only two places where they're going to still have those restrictions. But I'm definitely looking forward to that, because that means we're one step closer to live music. So,
well, yeah, exactly. I have a feeling we're not going to have live music and not at all this summer, probably, unless they figure out a way to do like drive-in concert or something. I know they did one last September. So they might be doing stuff like that, but I mean, we're not going to be back to normal doing concerts and stuff for a while, probably, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I was thinking that more artists would jump on that drive-in thing last year, to be honest with you, because I'll go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we only had one, and it was, I don't know if you guys ever heard, he's a Canadian artist. We had Dean Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did one, and I think Brett Kissel. I don't know if you guys heard of him either.
Oh yeah.
He did a whole tour, drive-in tour. Dean Brody just did the one show in Ottawa, I think, but that was all we had in the way of live music at all.
Jeez.
Last year.
Dean Brody, I did not know he was Canadian actually until probably just a few months ago. Actually, I didn't know that. But he's awesome.
He's awesome. I've seen him in concert. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I've never got to see him live, but he's definitely had a lot of hits over the years.
100%. Like, he got Bring Down the House and Monterey, all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely. But anyways, back to the new music that's been dropping over the last couple weeks. Thomas Rhett, Country Again, Side A dropped.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good overall. I thought it was a pretty good project for Thomas Rhett.
Yeah, it was a good project for him. Kind of a return to form a little bit.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a few of the songs were like your Beer with Jesus era type of songs, and I love that Rhett, honestly. And it flopped sales wise though, right?
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I don't know. I think we'll talk about it here when we get into Eric's album. But I think these guys splitting their projects up into different albums is not gonna pan out for them, because I mean, in today's world, when it comes to streaming, you need as many songs on the project as you can get to rack up those streams, and these short albums are just not. They're not going to stick around.
No.
It's kind of strange. I think
it's weird.
They'll definitely change the strategy moving forward.
And I think Morgan did it perfect with his double album. He just let it all drop at once, And
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what they should have done, and what I wish they would have done with Church and Rhett there. But
yeah.
Speaking of short albums, Justin Moore's Straight Out of the Country dropped, and that was pretty good.
I've only listened to a couple of the tracks. I have not dove deep into it yet. What about you, Joey? What do you think of it?
I've given it like 2 listen throughs. It's pretty good. I think it's only like 8 or 9 songs though. It's really short.
Yeah. The single, I mean, We Didn't Have Much, is a freaking jam, and it's just classic Justin, and it's one of the better songs he's done probably.
Yeah, I think that was one of my because they dropped that last year.
They did, and it was like number 8 on your year-end chart.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I wrapped my 2020 wrap up. That was one of my top songs of the year. So yeah. I've definitely listened to that song a billion times. But the full project, just 2 listen throughs, and I enjoyed it. I'll revisit it for sure. Did you get to check it out, Kurt?
Yeah, I had a look at it. I had a few listens through. And I mean, yeah, we didn't have much, obviously, as there was a single on that, and it's probably one of his better songs that he's released recently. And you know, like he said there, it's classic Justin Moore. Like, it was very much a Justin Moore song. And She Ain't Mine No More. I actually really like that one as well. Out of all the other ones, that was a great song.
That is a good one, definitely. Then JMO, Jameson Rogers, his EP's dropped recently. You listen to that, Chris?
I did. We keep coming back to these guys that are just somehow always connected to.
Yeah, they are
it's
all
like
connected.
Drew and Jameson and yeah. But it's. I mean,
They're in that crowd, man.
I like most of his stuff. I mean, he's leaning in obviously and he's going to get a ton of radio play with Cold Beer Calling My Name with Luke. It's hard to it's hard to not have a smash with Luke on there. But probably my favorite from the EP is Rolling Rock, Rolling Stones. Probably I like that one a lot.
I'd be a liar if I said I listened to the whole thing. I think I listened to like 2 songs, and I don't hate Jameson, but I just can't get into his stuff, man. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know why. I don't dislike him, but I wouldn't. It's one of those things where if it comes on, I'll listen to it. But if I'm not gonna just go turn his music on, I don't know.
Yeah,
and he's in, like you said, he's in Luke's crowd, and I love Drew. I love all the other people that I've come to hear and listen to through Luke, but something about it, I don't know, just not for me yet. I don't know. Cold Beer Calling My Name is a jam, but Luke's featured on it, so that's probably why I feel that way.
Yeah, that's right.
But did you get a chance to check it out, Kurt?
I did, yeah. Like, I honestly had never heard Jameson Rogers until he did do that song with Luke, the Cold Beer Calling My Name. And then he followed that up with Some Girls. So those were like the 2, I guess, like lead singles off the EP. And then I went and I listened to the full project, and it was okay. I wasn't like a huge fan of it aside from those 2 singles, but again, like it wasn't terrible by any means, but it's just not, like you said, it's not something that I would like go to right away to listen to.
Yeah, it wasn't what I heard from it wasn't bad. It's just nothing that like overwhelmed me, and I was like, oh man, this is amazing,
Yeah, there wasn't that one song that like really like stuck out at you, like damn, like that's a fantastic song.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I think he'll have some luck with radio though, but moving on, I'll just hit some more points out of the news, and then we can get into Heart and Soul. But Travis Tritt's new album dropped.
Yep.
I enjoyed that. I gave that a couple listen throughs.
Yeah, it's good.
Parker McCollum, Dierks Bentley, Riley Green announced a tour, and some dates I read that it's going to be actually Mitchell Tenpenny showing up instead of Riley. There's a few cities.
Yeah, but the Riverbend date has got Riley. And Parker on it. So.
Yeah, I think
if we go to a show, that'll be the one we go to.
Yeah, we'll be hitting up Cincinnati.
That's right.
And then Cody Johnson announced his double album, Human. So that's exciting. I love Cody.
I did not hear about this. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was the Whiskey Riff podcast that he went on and actually announced it on their podcast.
Interesting.
So that was pretty cool. It was like the Whiskey Riff Raff or something.
Release date?
Not that I could find. I'll be honest, I didn't actually listen to the episode, but I get their newsletter or whatever every month or week or whatever, and I got an email and it was like, Cody Johnson announces double album project Human on the Whiskey Riff Raff podcast. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I'll listen to it eventually, but so I don't have a date yet. Stay tuned. Maybe next week I'll know.
That's right. We love Cody.
Oh yeah, huge Cody fans. But yeah, that was really all the news I had and new releases I kind of wanted to touch on. Do you guys have anything else?
I got nothing.
Cool. Well, Kurt, again, thanks so much for coming on, man. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and just kind of what you do on social media and how you got into country music and everything like that?
Yeah, for sure. So like I never used to listen to country actually. Like way back when I never used to listen to it. And then the first country song I ever heard, I think it was "She Get Me High" by Luke Bryan, and yeah, and one of my buddies played it at the cottage on their boat, and I was like, "Yo, like what is that song?" And this is probably like 5, 6 years, 7 years ago maybe, and so I'm like, "Man, it's a good song." So then and then they played "Play It Again." Was the next second song like right after that, and I was like, okay, like that's another good song. And then I don't know, I just started listening to country, pretty much strictly country, and just like taken off from there. Like I just only listen to it. I listen to everything from, you know, Texas country to mainstream, pop country, if you call it bro country. I listen to 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, all of it. And it is just the best. Nothing beats it.
That's awesome, man. So you dove head first right into country fandom.
Yeah, I was, man, like I used to listen to, like, you know, all those, like, that's like 2000s, 2010s pop, like, you know, Black Eyed Peas and all that. And then, and then as soon as I heard those two Luke Bryan songs, I was like, damn, like, you know, that's a lot better than what I'm listening to right now. And then it just kind of went up from there.
That's awesome, man.
What's the like radio situation where you're from, Kurt? Like, are there a couple country stations that play a lot of stuff, or is it like you have to go find it on your own, like on Spotify and Apple Music, or how did you come across most of the music that you found?
So the summer there, after when I heard the first, like, the Luke Bryan songs or whatever, you know, we had a country station in town. We only had one at the time, so, you know, I would turn it on the radio, you know, every day when I came home from school, or I would, you know, sit there and listen to it. So a lot of it was through the radio originally. But the last, like, year and a half or so, you know, I started digging a lot more into, like, the Texas country and, you know, the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s stuff. I'm doing that myself because up here they just play a lot of, like, the mainstream stuff. Like, I heard Parker for the first time on the radio, I think, a few months ago. Pretty Heart came on. But, you know, that was the first time I'd really heard, like, something, like, outside of, like, mainstream on the radio up here.
Nice.
What about?
But it's good to see that he's coming on the radio up here, because that means that's just going to open the door for more artists like that to be on radio up here, which is
absolutely
nice.
Who are some of your favorite, like, Canadian country artists?
Ooh, there's a lot. You got Dean Brody and Dallas Smith are probably two of my favorites. I know you said you guys had heard Dean Brody. I don't know about Dallas Smith or not.
Oh yeah, Dallas is he's probably had the most hits probably in the last 10 years, probably, right?
Probably, yeah. And he did that collab with Hardy there. What was it called? Some Things Never Change. And that was off his last album. There's Brett Kissel. Brett Kissel's good. I've seen him too. He puts out a lot of music compared to some Canadian artists. Like, he pumps out the music, and he's got a lot of good stuff. And then there is a group that not a lot of, I don't know if you guys heard, the Reclaws.
No, I've not heard of them.
I've heard the name, but I would not know their music.
Yeah, so the Reclaws, they're brother-sister duo, and they have a lot of good music, and they're probably one of my favorites. I got a picture of them somewhere, but saw them in concert, and no, they're fantastic too.
That's awesome. I'll have to check them out.
That's cool, man.
We'll have to have you back on again and do like a Canadian country episode. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool, because, you know, they don't get a lot of attention, I don't think, down there. Like, you know, like, I'm always talking to people on TikTok and stuff, right, about, you know, Canadian country. I'm like, well, do you guys know any of the Canadian artists? And they're like, no, like, they don't get played on the radio or anything, which I find weird. Yeah. But I guess that's just the way it is, because down there's so many artists down there, right, that I guess they have their own, like, the radio down there has their own thing.
You know, it's been a couple of weeks since we did an episode, and since we did an episode, a Canadian artist had a #1 song on American radio. Tino Arts. So
Tino Arts. She's Canadian too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found that out.
I think it was the first time since Emerson Drive 2007. I think it had been like 14 years since a Canadian had a #1 on American country radio.
Yeah. Jeez. It had been a long time. Yeah. I just actually watched you guys know I know Chris, you know Grady, but Kurt, do you know who Grady Smith is, the YouTuber?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I talk to him sometimes from time to time.
Yeah, it's such an awesome dude. I actually just watched his video not too long ago about Canadian country music, and it was just so eye-opening to watch that, because I had no idea there was so much great country music out of Canada like that, you know? Like you said, that we just don't know it, and I'm like, man, this is like... It was cool of him to do that video and kind of open the door on just... And he even said, like, you know, I'm not deep diving into this, but just the information that he shared, I was like, wow, I'm learning so much from this already. It was pretty cool.
It's the same thing up here. Like, you know, like I ask a lot of people up here, you know, they don't really hear these guys like, you know, Drew Parker, or, you know, even like bigger names like Tyler Childers or Parker. They don't know any of them, and it's just like it's means the same thing down there talking to people about like Dean Brody or Dallas Smith or Brett Kissel, right?
That's crazy. It's so crazy to think that that there's such good music all over the world that we haven't been subjected to just because of our geographical differences.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in today's world of streaming and online, but. Yeah, I'll definitely check out those folks that you mentioned. Rec Law, you said?
Yeah, that's the Rec Laws.
The Rec Laws, okay, yeah.
REKLAWS.
Taking it down right now, sweet.
They're fantastic.
Awesome.
They got a lot of good like summer jams.
Those are some of the best, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good summer jam and then a good heartbreak to follow it up.
Yeah, they got some of those too.
Nice.
But yeah, they're fantastic.
Who would you say your favorite current artist right now, or Kurt?
Oh man,
I know that's hard.
It's hard to pick, man. Like I could say like Cody Johnson or Luke Combs or I'm a big fan of Parker. Like I love Parker, but it's almost hard not to say Wallen at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Wallen like that. Like I listened to his first because I used to watch like The Voice and stuff. I listened to his first like EP when it came out, standalone, and I was like, man, like this is some good stuff. And then he dropped The Way I Talk, and The Way I Talk was I guess it was his first radio single.
Yeah.
And then he dropped that whole project, and I was like, this guy's good. And then now he's dropping that double album. It's just I still listen to all of it, his old stuff, new stuff.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Wallen at this point. Like, as much as I wanted to say like Kojo or like Combs, I just don't think I can at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean those are all awesome
top names
choices there, man. Yeah.
I don't think I've stopped listening to the Dangerous album since it's dropped.
Oh no.
My wife's getting burnt out. She's like, can we listen to anything else? I'm like, sure, let's listen to Heart and Soul. And she's like, oh my gosh, anything else?
That's funny.
Wallen is definitely one of my favorites. I know you've listened to a couple episodes you said, but we are, I think I can speak for Chris and I both. We are both hardcore Luke fanboys. The Wallens in my top, probably my top three now, honestly.
Yeah,
Church,
say,
Luke, and
Eric,
Wallen.
Luke, and Morgan are probably the
Those
top.
are my top three for sure.
Yeah, with some close follow-ups with Kojo and Tyler Childers, Randall King, for me anyway.
John Party for me.
John Party. Yeah. That's not even mentioning John Party.
Yeah. We just saw John headline in Kentucky, probably a month and a half ago?
Yeah, it seems like yesterday, but I guess it has been about a month and a half ago now.
That was probably the best night of 2021 or 2020 so far.
Yeah. It was at the college campus arena, UK, and dude, it was awesome. It was social distance or whatever, and like low capacity, but you wouldn't have even known it with how riled up the crowd was. Everybody was up dancing, jumping up and down, screaming all the lyrics back. It was
awesome.
The most normal live music event we've had, since this whole pandemic kicked off. So
yeah.
It was fun. I hadn't seen Party headline before. That was the first time I'd seen him as a headliner, and he was awesome. I saw him open up for, it was Luke Bryan a few years ago, I think. 2018? Something like that. But, yeah, he was awesome as a headliner.
Yeah, I've seen him twice. I've seen him open for Derek Bentley in... Might have been... I don't know if it was 2017 or 2018. And then I also saw him open for Luke Bryan in 2018.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So I've seen him open twice. He's fantastic.
That's awesome.
It's funny that you mentioned Parker because Joey and I we're always talking about how kind of Luke and Morgan are the two new superstars in country, and we're always wondering who's going to be next. And Parker. I really think Parker's got a chance to be like one of the next major stars in American country music.
I agree with you, man. And you hear people all the time talking about him now, like, what are your favorite songs right now? Who's your favorite artist? And his name gets brought up so much now. And he's good. His music's great. Excited to see what's next for him if he takes one of those top spots here soon. I think it's time to roll into Heart and Soul. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
So pre-release to this album, man, it was wild. This is Eric does things against the grain. He does his own thing. You know, he's always been known as the outsider, the one that doesn't follow the mainstream rules or whatever. So they, you know, he takes his team. They go hide away in a cabin for like, what, 28 days.
Yeah, literally, a month and a half before the pandemic. So last January.
So they were quarantined in the mountains of North Carolina in what I believe was a restaurant that they turned into a studio, right? I think it was like a little cafe type deal.
Yeah.
Turning it into a studio, and they're just in total seclusion. And we've talked about this on the show before, but I know we've got some new listeners now. They go up to the mountains in this like cafe thing that they turn into a studio. They write a song and cut the song the same day for 28 days.
Yeah.
And, you know, Church went on record to say it was kind of like something out of The Shining, where they were just like secluded in the mountains and trapped and couldn't leave or whatever. And he said that he was like dreaming song titles and lyrics, and he was in a mania, which I believe because the dude's crazy. He's a machine. And I think it was actually Crazyland that he said he was dreaming the lyrics to. And he like woke up at 3:00 in the morning or something.
And wrote
like
the song.
Yeah, and was gonna lay back down and go to bed, but then decided not to and got up and like finished the song. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude is a tank. Which have you seen him live yet, Kurt?
I have not had the opportunity to see him live. I was supposed to see him. So up here we have a big music festival. It's called Blues Fest, and I was supposed to go to Blues Fest, and I ended up not going. And he was one of the headliners for big country headliners that year. I'm a little disappointed I didn't go.
Yeah.
And then he was headlining another big strictly country music festival up here, Boots and Hearts, last summer. But, you know, COVID, you know, ruined that. So I'm still waiting, but he's definitely at the top of my list to go see.
You know, depending on your guys' situation with the lockdowns and stuff, he's got some Canadian dates for this tour. So hopefully those work out. And I don't even know how the U.S. dates are going to work out, to be honest with you, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I saw those Canadian dates, and I went to go buy a ticket because he's coming to Ottawa, actually, fancy enough. So I'm like, damn, I'm going to go buy a ticket the day they went on sale, and they're still not available. So I guess they're just waiting to see if that's going to even be a possibility. Hopefully it is.
Yeah, and to your point, they are waiting because I saw in the official church choir group, I think, one of those Facebook groups I'm in, and they. The lady that runs his social media made a big or a comment or a post or something and said that they were waiting until the borders opened up or whatever to let those tickets release. So hopefully it works out and you get to go see him, man, because the point I was getting at is, you know, he's just a freaking machine. Live, no opening act, 3.5 to 4 hours set by himself. I'm like, gosh.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
It's unlike anything else that you've seen.
That's
dude,
nuts.
It's probably
crazy. Yeah.
The best live show I've ever seen. And I've seen Garth, Combs, all those, you know, Aldean, Luke Bryan. I mean, it is the most energized show I've seen. It's crazy. But yeah, so they go in the mountains, do this whole thing, come up with this triple album, which he announced it. What was that on? Was that in January when he announced it? Yeah, January 21st is this year is when he officially announced it was going to be a triple album with Heart and Soul being available to the public, and the "and" is the middle of the 3 albums, which is only available to the church choir exclusively, which is his fan club, on white vinyl. Which was, you know, cool for the fan club, but I know a lot of people were pissed off about it. But, you know, calling it a money grab or, you know, whatever. But I fell for it. I paid for the church choir and ordered the triple album on white vinyl, so, you know. It was a really weird release in my opinion.
I mean, for one thing, Eric is one. I mean, as we've said, Eric is one of our absolute all-time favorites. So any opinion that we have on how they rolled this album out does not change what we think of Eric.
Keep in mind he is still one of our top 3 guys, and Eric can do no wrong even if we say we don't agree with something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he'll probably end up releasing it.
Yeah, I would think so.
Streaming platforms eventually, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, two of the 6 songs are already out on Spotify, so it's really it's 4 songs.
Through my Ray-Bans, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So people are only missing 4 songs, and they're good. Lone Wolf, Madman, Kiss Her Goodbye. God, what's the other one, Chris? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It just left my brain.
Oh no!
I was listening to it earlier.
Man,
Do
Side,
yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So they're good. They're good. You know, I've listened to them a few times each, and they're awesome. So hopefully he'll release them to everybody so they can get a little taste of it. But the other thing about the pre-release, they released so many songs off this project before it actually came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like, and I've talked about artists doing this just in general. You just don't get the same effect when the full album drops when you've already heard 7 to 10 of the songs that are on the album, you know? Mm-hmm. There's just not that surprise factor or that excitement behind the album because you're like, oh, well, I've already heard this one, I've already heard this one. Oh, skip, I've already heard this one.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, shoot, 10 of these songs I've been listening to for the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, 6 of the songs came out in 2020.
Right.
So you're talking months and months and months ago.
Which is crazy, but...
It's typical for Nashville these days, but it's not typical of Eric. So I think that's kind of that's the stickler. You know, I mean, for Luke to do it or Morgan to do it, or I mean, Thomas Rhett did it. I mean, you know, the reason that they do it is to try to keep the attention on one song for at least a while and get the streams as high as they can on that song, so that all of those total streams count towards the album. And it also just is kind of a way to keep their name in the news for an extended period of time. So, I mean, you know, I guess as far as that goes, I kind of understand why they do it. But once you're as big of a star as some of these guys are, they don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm. I feel you, man. I always get mad when Luke Combs plays his new unreleased stuff at shows or on Facebook because I'm like, man. I'm like, and you've said this before, you don't know if it's just that we follow these people too closely, that we just hear it all or what, but it's just a bummer when the projects fully drop and you're like, man, I've already heard all these songs, but I don't know. And then I kind of thought, because, you know, like you said, he released 6 of them last year, and it's like, did he put out new music because of the pandemic and he just wanted to give people something to do or listen to, and then also kind of hype up the album? You know, I don't know. Or was it just what you said, where he just wants to accumulate a ton of streams to help the project do better, you know?
It's hard to tell. I would, you know, it's weird because Eric literally put out a surprise album that had no press release before the day of in Mr. Misunderstood, which is probably your and my one of our all-time favorite albums of all time.
For sure.
And now he's done this, so he's kind of like, done both ways.
Yeah, did the opposite of what.
Yeah, he did the opposite for sure.
It was weird because even Desperate Man, he didn't release, which that was a short record. I mean, that was 10 tracks, I think. Desperate Man.
Yeah, it was 10.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he dropped 2 singles before the project came out.
Yeah,
probably Desperate Man and some of it, maybe I can't remember.
I think Heart Like a Wheel was out.
Heart Like a Wheel. Yeah. But I guess when the project itself isn't that big, you're not that disappointed when you only hear 2 of the songs versus when you've got 20 something songs and you've heard 10 of them before it comes out. But I don't know.
Yeah,
it was interesting. I don't know if they'll do it like this again because the sales have not been that great for it.
No, I mean both of the albums are debuted at like number 3 on the country chart and have already disappeared after the second or third week because I mean they've only got 9 songs on them. So I mean, you know, you're competing against Luke's Deluxe that has 23 songs and Morgan's Dangerous that has 30 songs, and you know, Stapleton's record had 14 songs on it. You know, I mean, just in the way of the world today, you're not going to be able to compete against the biggest stars in country music if you have, you know, a third of the songs on an album.
Yeah. And to the point, Eric has always kind of not gave a crap about, you know, charts and numbers and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, he doesn't.
I don't think he cares.
Eric is singular. He doesn't really. It doesn't really matter to him. I don't think.
As long as his diehard and his fans are happy, I think that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting how his team went about it too, because you know they care. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They want to compete. They want
to. The label cares for sure.
Oh yeah. So it's just interesting, but I don't know. I think he had good intent with it. You know, I think he wanted to do, you know, Going Away in the Mountains, writing all those songs and not taking the time to simmer on them and like cut this one, cut that one out of the project and just kind of slapping it all together was a pretty cool way to go about it. Because I've not heard of anybody else doing anything that crazy before.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, I think it's just the whole project feels very fragmented and very like, you know how like on your favorite albums you listen to them so much and you listen to them in order so much that you literally could name the songs in sequential order. Like, I mean, if for Mr. Misunderstood or for both of Luke's albums, I mean, I literally could write the songs down in a row because you've listened to them so many times, and it kind of becomes like the story of the album by listening to the full album, and you kind of lose that completely when it comes to this project a little bit. I feel like.
No, I agree with you 100%, man. I think it was the way they put it together was just kind of weird. Like a lot of the songs just don't fit, you know. Like Stick That in Your Country song. I feel like that doesn't really fit this vibe very well. I don't know.
No, but it fits. I mean that's Church perfectly. Yeah. You know, and that's a prototypical lead single for Church, and that's going to be a freaking killer live song.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it live. I bet they open with that.
Yeah,
that'd be a good opening song. I think
they will. Yeah.
But no, I love that song. Don't get me wrong, and I think it's anybody else cut that, it doesn't fit. But with Church cutting it, it's fantastic. But it just the overall vibe to it, it's like what? That's kind of weird, but it's good. I love it. I listen to that one probably some of them out of all the songs. I listen to that one the most almost. But I don't know, Kurt. What do you think, man, about this pre-release and just kind of how they hyped all this up?
So when like I first heard about it and him releasing a triple album, you're like, man, like, you know, you were expecting it to like, you know, almost like one up Luke Combs Deluxe. You're expecting it to one up, you know, Morgan Wallen's double album just because, you know, oh, it's Eric Church. Eric Church's been around a long time. You know, and you know, you expect a very, you know, Eric Church style album from it. But I think when he gets together with his crew and like, or like sits down with his label and you want to like put out that much music at once, you know, you got to make sure that like it's, you know, all gonna, like you guys said, fit in that project. And yeah, there's a couple songs on there that I really just were kind of like, you know, this doesn't really fit the theme. Like they were very unique to Church. Like they're very like, you know, Church songs. You hear those songs, you're like, yeah, like, oh yeah, that's an Eric Church song. But like overall, like, you know, it was super hyped up. But I just don't know, like overall together now that we have all them songs and the 2 albums or the 3 albums, depending if you have the church choir or not, together, I just don't really get that, you know, flow of it.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely isn't my favorite Church album or albums, however you wanna accumulate those projects together. But I was pretty underwhelmed with it overall. There's definitely some smashes and some really good tracks, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. I'll say that.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple songs I was like, you know, I was like surprised that it like would even like, you know, make the cut. But I mean, like, then again, he does, like, you know, knowing Church, like, he does have, like, a reason for everything, like, he does. He does. But there were just a couple songs in there was, like, you know, were a bit, like, you know, you let you down or, you know, that you would expect better from him. But, yeah, definitely still some good songs on there.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
See, I kind of have the opposite opinion. I think that all of the release stuff and you know, quarantine and all this has kind of changed the narrative. But when I actually look at the songs and when I make the list, like there's like 15 songs here that are freaking amazing. Like, I mean, the top. I mean, we'll get into it here in a minute. But I mean, there are a couple that I'm like, but like, you know, I feel like I mean, I know you and I do, Joey. I mean, we read what people say in the groups, and we see the arguments that people are having, and then I sit there and think to myself, like, you know, I don't really necessarily agree with, you know, I mean, people are saying that some of the songs aren't country enough, or they're not this, or they're not that. I mean, for one thing, Church is just Church. He's gonna make whatever kind of music he wants, and I mean,
Yeah.
if he's telling you a story and he's singing the song, it's country music. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know.
There's definitely some rock
songs are going to grow on me. I think pretty
Oh,
well
yeah.
long term. It's just the album is not going to be memorable, but you know,
Yeah.
a lot of these songs, I'm going to listen to for forever.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know, we've talked about this on the show too before, but it is very rock influenced. But church has done quite a bit of rock influenced music in the past, and you see these people complaining in the Facebook groups, and I'm like, you know, I'll say I was underwhelmed with the project, but I don't think it's not a church album in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely something off the cuff that he would do, like just something more rockish and bluesy almost even some of those songs. And
Yeah.
you know, I think what you said is perfect, that a lot of these songs will stick with me for a while, but I don't think the full thing will stick with me for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. And speaking of people complaining about church, man, I'm tired of these people complaining about the ticket prices to the tour. I'm over it. I'm like, man, you guys you must be new here, or you must have not went to the Double Down tour, because I think I paid $35 for a nosebleed ticket on the Double Down tour, plus Ticketmaster's stupid fees. And,
and I think I just paid $39 plus.
Yeah,
fees.
$39.99 or something like that. $39. I'm like, it's $4 more for a nosebleed. If you don't, and church's pit tickets were like 140 or 50 or 60 something, between 140 and 160 on the last tour, and they're 169 at most venues for this tour. And I'm like,
it's not even that bad.
Yeah, I'm like, you're getting a premium show from a premium artist. You know, there are artists out there like Luke Combs that keep super low ticket prices, like $25 to $55 or whatever it is for the pit. But like, you know, these guys have teams they've got to feed, families. There's so much that goes into a live show that I don't think the average fan understands. Because when Church came to Cincinnati, Ohio last time, I counted like, I don't know, 10 semi-trailers that had all kinds of equipment and stuff in them, like down under the stadium. I'm like, they've got to bring all that equipment, the stage stuff, the instruments, but you know what I mean? They got to pay a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, if you're one of those people, just look at the Double Down tour ticket prices and compare those to the Gather Again tour prices, and you won't be so mad. It's all good. Just pay the price, go see a live show. I know 2020 was hard for a lot of people, and some people lost their jobs, some people had their hours cut, and that is so sad. And I feel for those people. I understand where they're coming from, you know, but the people that didn't have anything affect them, or you know, were blessed enough to still continue to work and everything, it's like, quit complaining, you know, just buy the ticket. Or don't buy the ticket. You know?
Or don't buy the ticket.
Don't go. More tickets for us, you know.
Dude, I would pay just about anything to go see a live concert. I'm not even going to be worried about the price.
That's what I'm saying. Chris and I, we bought tickets to 3 shows each? Or did you get 2?
I mean,
you got 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3. But I mean, I'm probably going to go to the Pittsburgh show and the Greensboro show once it gets closer and they actually start the tour, and I actually believe it's going to happen.
Yeah, I wanted to lock in at least 3 shows, and then, you know, if we get there and it actually happens, I might go to Kentucky. People don't hate me, Louisville, for the that show. I'd like to go to that one. But if you're in Kentucky, I'll say it right, Louisville. There we go.
That's right.
But yeah, so I would definitely probably add that to the schedule, but we'll see. But yeah, overall, it's a Church album. I love Church. New Church is great. If I had to rank it out of 10, this album, man, I'm probably gonna go like a 6.75 out of 10.
Yeah.
Overall on the full project, I'd give it 6.75 is probably where I'd put it on a Church scale.
Yeah, I'd probably be 7.5, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it at a 7 out of 10 overall.
So we're hovering around that 7 out of 10 range. Gosh, I feel bad. I gave the lowest score.
You know the weird thing is it's got 24 songs on it.
Yeah.
And we're kind of wishy-washy about it. And then, you know, he's got albums that have 10 songs on it that literally are perfect, you know? Yeah. So I mean, sometimes quantity is not doesn't add up to quality, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean, if he had picked the best 10, or let's say he picked the best 12 of these songs and stuck it on one album, it would be an amazing album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he could have shortened it to like 12 or 14 tracks and had a killer album.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. What's your favorite of the 3?
Favorite of the 3? So I only got to listen to the two of the And album because I'm not in the church choir or anything. But I have to go with Heart.
Yeah.
I think Heart was my favorite out of the 2.5, 3.5 of them. Because I only got to listen to the two that are on Spotify for the And album. But yeah, I think I have to go with Heart.
Heart is
I think it has
awesome.
the best chunk of songs on it.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
Well, I'm sitting here looking at the track listing. I mean, I think probably from, on Heart all the way down to Crazy Land. I mean, that's 7 amazing songs. Yeah. I think Soul's kind of got, there's some funkier stuff that I probably will grow on me later, but right now, I would give it to Heart.
Nice.
What about you, Joey?
The other day, I think I was texting you, and I think I said I liked And quite a bit. But re-looking at the track list and re-listening to it a couple times this week so far, I think I'm going to have to go with Heart myself, man.
Yeah.
I think we're going to complete the trifecta, and all three go with Heart.
And has Through My Ray-Bans and Lone Wolf on it, and Doing Life With Me. I mean, those are 3 killer songs.
It's got Do Side is good, Lone Wolf. And it was solid. I'm not gonna lie. I can see why it was just that collection of 6 tracks that he wanted for the church choir because it was good.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, it's only 6 songs. That's kind of like an EP, you know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it to Heart. Heart was my favorite. Like you said, Soul had some funky ones like Bad Mother Trucker, Jenny. Like, I get what he was doing, but I'm like, you know. Yeah, so we
it's
can go ahead.
It's definitely gonna have the biggest hit on it though, because Hell of a View is gonna be by far the biggest hit that he has on any of these.
Most definitely,
any of these songs,
100%.
I agree with that 100%, man. So speaking of good songs and favorite songs, what do you guys want to jump into this ranking here and rank our top 10?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Cool. So for those of you that are new to the show, we like to rank our favorites of the album. With this being a triple album, we usually do like a top 5, but we're going to do a top 10 with this one. We'll just run through them pretty quick here. So, Kurt, we go 10 to 1, so we usually start with our lowest to highest.
Yep.
So, I'll kick it off. I've got at number 10, Kiss Her Goodbye.
Okay, what do you think of that one?
It's a good one. I like the wordplay on that one, and it's kind of sad. You know me, I'm a sucker for the heartbreak, sad stuff. So
That's right.
yeah, I liked it. I don't know, Kurt. I don't know if you've heard it, man. It's on the And album, so I apologize, but
I wouldn't have had a chance to listen to it yet, but
got that one at number 10.
I might try and listen to it.
What'd you have at number 10, Chris?
Number 10, I've got Crazy Land.
Ooh, that's a good one. Wrote it in his sleep.
It's we've been listening to it for 6 months, but it's still a great one.
Most definitely. Kurt, what'd you have at number 10, man?
I have Doing Life With Me at number 10.
Nice.
That's
I love that
that's a great
song.
one.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Like, of the two that I was able to listen to off the End album, I really enjoyed that one. I liked the meaning behind it. It was a really good song.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Number 9, I had Lone Wolf.
That's it. You're leaning into And. You like it. It's just short, but you liked it.
Yeah, man. I don't know, just his vocal power on that one, you know, it was good. Has a country rock vibe, and I like that about church, so that's why I made my top 10. It was awesome,
That's
man.
right.
What do you have at number 9, Chris?
Number 9, I've got Never Break Heart.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
a good one.
To me, it's kind of like, he first performed that at the very beginning of quarantine, and it kind of is, that one will stick with me through everything that we've been through this last year and a half.
Yeah, because he played that on was it the Sirius radio couch tour, or what? You remember?
Yeah.
I forget what they called it, but it was something goofy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played that acoustic, and it was emotional at that time because the world was in a pretty dark place.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that one will stick with me too. What do you have at number 9, Kurt?
I had Bad Mother Trucker at number 9.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker for those, kind of like funky, upbeat ones, and that was kind of like very like, typical, unique to church, and I just really enjoyed that song. Like, it wasn't one of the best ones out of the project, but it definitely had to make my top 10. So
That's awesome because I I do not like that song, so it's cool to hear other people's opinions on what they like and don't like and why. Because I mean, I'll listen to it, but when it first came out, Chris, I think I even told you, I'm like, what is this? But it's typical church to do something just funky and different,
I didn't
That's
like
right.
it the first time I heard it. The more I listened to it, though, the more I started to appreciate it, and it grew on me pretty quickly. That one.
The instrumentation is awesome on that one, though.
Agreed.
I do like the instruments. But yeah, number 8. This is kind of a funky one that I picked. I've got "Break It" kind of guy. I like that
You
one.
love that one.
I don't know why, man. I don't know. I just like it. It's good. What about you, Chris?
Number 8, I've got the lead single, "Stick That in Your Country Song."
Boom.
Yeah.
Going hard at number 8.
I mean, I wanted to put that one a little bit higher, but that's kind of it's kind of just a statement song, and I think probably once we hear it live, it might move a little further up my list.
For sure. That one's going to kick ass live, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be like That's Damn Rock and Roll kind of feel.
Yep.
But what about you, Kurt? What'd you have at 8?
I had the same thing as you, Joey. I had "Break It" kind of guy at number 8.
Nice. Good call.
I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
I find myself listening to that one over and over and over. I really like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was hard not
Yeah.
to put it higher on my list, actually, but had to go
good.
somewhere.
I have it at number 7, so I'll just go ahead and throw that out there too. All three of us almost had it identical.
That's awesome. Number 7, I had Crazy Land.
Great.
I love that one.
Yep.
Kind of Kill a Word vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. And I read an article that somebody was giving him crap for like reusing the same type of concept, but I thought he did it amazingly. I love it. But what do you have at number 7, Kurt?
I had "People Break" at number 7.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that
It,
one. Absolutely.
The first
love that
time
one.
I heard that, I kind of like, it was kind of like that, like, wow song. Like, just like, not so much like, instrumentally or like vocally, but lyrically. And you sit back and listen to the lyrics and you're just kind of like, damn. Yeah, it was one of those songs.
Yeah, that one definitely hits heavy. Number 6, I've got "Never Break Heart."
You're always going to go for the sentimental ones, Jack.
Yeah, you know me, man.
That's
For
right.
reasons we've already talked about, pretty much same reasons Chris has it on his list. So, what do you guys have at number 6?
Number 6, I've got "Look Good and You Know It."
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, it's just a funky, fun one.
Yeah, most definitely.
At 6, I got "Rock and Roll Found Me."
Oh, that's a good one.
Off
I
Soul.
love that one.
Yeah, that one's awesome. We're rolling into the top 5, boys. Number
What
5,
you got, Joey?
I've got the Statement song, "Stick That in Your Country Song."
I
Love
figured
it.
you'd have that one up there.
Yeah, man, love it. When I first heard that, I was like, this is Eric Church. Like
It's crazy
100%.
because he did not write it, which is
I
like
know.
so rare for Eric to not only
That's
record but to
unusual for
release
him.
it as a lead single.
Yeah, exactly, man. It is unusual for him to cut anything that he wasn't like a part of the writing, especially as, like you said, the lead single. But I think it was an interview I watched or read where he heard it and was like, "Yeah, we're cutting that, like no question. Like if anybody else cuts it, no way."
Well, yeah, he just would not have worked with anybody other than Eric.
No, it was perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I had at number 5. What do you guys have?
Number 5, I've got "Hell of a View."
Ooh, man, that's a good one.
I wanted to put it higher. It's just, just slot it in at number 5 though.
It's hard when you like a lot of them.
That's right. What you got, Kurt?
I got "Crazy Land" at 5.
We're all loving that one.
Yeah, we are.
That was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so hard to rank them 1 to 10.
It is when you're picking your top 10. It's like, okay, where am I gonna put this one, that one, this one, that one? Okay, I think I switched like 3 or 4 of mine around before we started tonight.
Yeah.
But number 4, I had "Doing Life with Me." Same reasons as you, Kurt. Just the meaning behind it and everything that it's about. I just love that song. What do you guys have it for?
Number 4, I've got what I think is probably going to be the next radio single, if I had to guess, "Russian Roulette."
Ooh, Springsteen Part 2.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's-
yeah, it's got that driving kind of and it's melancholy. It's typical church, and I could hear it on the radio. I think it's going to be a big hit for him.
Oh yeah, most definitely. What about you, Kurt?
I got the Statement song "Stick That in Your Country Song" at number 4.
Nice.
Boom.
a lot of our stuff is kind of similar in this, like top 10. We have a lot of similar songs, so that's cool.
I think I'm getting ready to surprise you next, Joey.
You probably will. Number 3, I've got Russian Roulette.
So, there we go.
Melancholy, just like you said, good song, and I can see it doing well at radio.
Yep.
What about you, man?
Number 3, I've got probably the song that I've listened to the most, Leonard Skinner Jones.
Oh, that's no surprise because you told me that was one of your favorites, actually. If you remember,
I mean, this is like the story. I love any song that like tells the story of somebody from like different stages of their life, and like just a story song that kind of gives you a full picture of somebody. And the way that he mixes in, the Leonard Skinner references and Curtis Lowe and. I don't know. It's just any of these songs that I feel like nobody else could do except for Eric. It's just like that's an Eric Church song. I mean,
oh yeah, most definitely, man. What about you, Kurt?
Again, same as you there. I got Russian Roulette at 3.
Boom.
Yeah, we're loving that one.
It was one of my favorites. Like listening like the project through full for the first time. That was the one song that I was immediately like, this is gonna be a good song. Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree with you more on that.
Absolutely. I mean, I know, Joey, you and I have talked about, like, there's not a lot of these songs that sound like radio singles.
Yeah.
I mean, Hell of a View, clearly, it was almost like they wrote that one so that they could have a big hit, because it does not sound like the rest of this album at all.
No, you're right.
And I would think that Russian Roulette and, I don't know. I mean, that one, if I had to guess, I would think that's going to be, the next single because everybody's loving it. Yeah. And it's just prototypical Church.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Man, number 2, I've got Through My Ray-Bans.
Oh, my goodness. I was not expecting you to have that at 2.
You thinking number 1?
Oh, yeah.
Surprising you a little bit. Yeah, Through My Ray-Bans. I've loved that since he teased it in that video last year about gathering again and all that. And I've said this before, but just the fact that it was kind of dedicated to the Route 91 victims that were, involved in that mass shooting. And I don't know, man. It's just a song about everybody gathering together and being at a concert and just escaping the realities of the real world. And maybe it just means so much more now that we're not able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome song.
Yeah, it's good, man. What do you have at number 2, Chris?
Number 2, I've got People Break.
Yeah, you do like that one a lot.
Oh, man. I mean, there's always, on somebody's album that you love, like, Church, Combs, these kind of guys, there's always that song that, like, stops me in my tracks and, like, just makes me well up. And first time I heard this, I was just like, oh, my gosh, this is what Eric does, and this is why I love him. This is a great song.
You texted me that morning, and you're like, man, it's made my eyes water, or something like that.
It's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah. What about you, Kurt? What do you have at 2?
I got Hell of a View at 2. So the lead single off the soul portion of it. It was one of those songs for me, like the first time, like when it was released as a single, I probably listened to it 100 times in that day. Like it was just one of those songs you're kind of just like, yep. Like it was fantastic, and I gotta have it at 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I guess that leaves number 1 for me.
Yes, it does. What you got?
I've got Hell of a View. Surprise, surprise, right?
Well, I knew Hell of a View and Ray-Bans would be your top 2. I'm just surprised that it wasn't the other way around.
Man, I don't know. Hell of a View, I don't know, maybe just being a lovebird married man and the story that song tells, and I just love it.
Yeah, it's number 4, 3 or 4 this week, so it should be number 1 in a couple weeks, which that doesn't shock me at all.
No, it's not going to be a surprise at all once that gets to number 1.
Yeah.
But what do you have at number 1, Chris, on your list?
Number 1 was Through My Ray-Bans.
Boom.
We've said everything we need to about that song. Yeah. You and I both love that song. We've loved it since it came out, and it was number 1.
I was gonna put it at number 1, man, but that was one that I rearranged actually. Put Hell of a View at number 1, but
yeah, there you go.
Kurt, I'm anxious to hear what you have at number 1, man.
I think it's one neither of you guys didn't even have on your list, actually. I had Heart on Fire at 1.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one, and that's probably going to be a single too, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so.
When you were mentioning what you thought might be a radio single earlier, that was one that I was going to kind of mention that I could see going to radio for sure and doing pretty well for Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Heart and Soul. That's what we think. And after going through our rankings and talking about what we like and didn't like and seeing what each other had that they didn't have on, we didn't have on our list, or, a song you had that I didn't, it makes me kind of think that I do actually enjoy this project probably a little bit more than I thought that I did when we began this episode,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of feel that way? Or is that just me?
Well, like I said, I think the individual songs are amazing on this project. I think it's just the way they rolled it out and just kind of the story behind the project that has kind of left people feeling a little weird. But I think there's some amazing songs on this record.
Yeah, I think if they had released fewer singles, the project would have been a lot more exciting and overwhelming in a sense than it actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and putting it all together, like just dropping the whole thing, even if you want to leave "And" as a fan club exclusive, just dropping Heart and Soul on the same day as the same project would have been probably more successful, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
As radio wise, streaming wise, fan wise, all that.
Yeah, and I think with a bigger project, and like having a lot of people already heard, like a lot of the singles, like you said, there's like 6 or 7 singles that he dropped before the whole album. Like people are like, super quick to, jump on those songs that, don't sound as good, or that, maybe like they have like a, distaste for. That's not something that they would like enjoy listening to. And it kind of like, hides the fact that there's a lot of really good songs on this album. And, like, overall, it's a really good project. I just think that, if he had released it all at once and not as many singles and maybe, narrowed it down from, like, 24 songs to, like, 20 songs or, like, 18 songs or something like that, then it would have been, like, an even better project than it was.
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, that's it. That's all I've got for Heart and Soul. You guys got any final thoughts or anything?
I think we're good, man.
Kurt, you got any?
It all?
Yeah, we covered it all. Well, Kurt, thanks again, man, for coming on. We appreciate it. It was good chatting with you.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, not a problem at all, guys.
I know
we'll have you back.
It's a blast.
Yeah, glad you had a good time, man. I know we've kind of chatted back and forth on TikTok and stuff, so it's cool to actually get to chat with you here. So thanks again. But yeah, you guys go follow Kurt. He's on TikTok at Kurt_country, and that's Kurt Kurt. He's got a pretty big following over there. Posts some really cool videos about country music and kind of ranking songs and picking the winners and all that kind of stuff. So go check him out. While you're at it, we're not as cool, but go check us out on TikTok at BroCountryPod. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those major streaming platforms. So go check us out. We appreciate that. And guys, I think that's going to do it. So as always, until next time, keep it country and take care of each other.